Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a way of saying the president was fantastic. But his political enemies said he was suffering from what I describe as new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Yes, it's a word that is supposed to be called silicosis, meaning a lung disease. But in search for the longest word in the dictionary, they pep it up to become a 45-letter word, which is new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Our leaders have finally transformed this country into what I call ring a ring old roses. Yes, the innovative and attenuating situation. But I pray God will not forsake this country. But until the government propitiates the masses, I will not go to India. I will not go to India.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that 2023, he'll be tired. He could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. Mm-hmm. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he sincerely said, when you run for one term, he sincerely, I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest. Find somebody else. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that 2023, he'll be tired. He could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. Mm-hmm. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he sincerely said, when you run for one term, he sincerely, I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest. Find somebody else.
Mr. Ure told me we can put 15,000 people in the street. But I wasn't going to put 15,000 people in the street to kill people because people were armed. We heard at Coca-Cola factory, they were there waiting. Was I going to allow people to destroy this country, kill people because of me? No. Let them see it. And believe you me, if I had taken that country at that time, I wouldn't be living. Because even if you are poor, go in the street, the people will say, we are going to put diamond. So God said, let them see it.
You have former worker that say he worked for 12 years, Unity Party squandered it. Did I say so? So if you sat as vice president, as the key advisor to President Salif, you know, anything that will happen in your government, good or bad or ugly, all our being sad. So I would not go say, oh, president, no, he didn't squander his opportunities. So if you can say that you sat at a place, most of the critical meetings were held at Vice President Boyka's home. President Salif would leave her house and go and call cabinet meeting there. So he was a part of the whole process. So you didn't have any voice? How can you now sit at this point and say you squandered your opportunities when you were vice president? And you've never been president before. You now have a president who people talk all the negative things about that is doing very well. I want to call on citizens across the length and breadth of our country to see the record of President we are. That's why when they get to the station to talk, they will talk all kind of negative things. Oh, you're not doing it. You're not doing. What does the record say?
My son, I tell you, but when I pay for my money, my radio, I can play radio at all the stations. That's so I can hear you saying in the
So you can listen to all the radio stations?
I swear to God, and man, everybody in the country, I'm an informer.
Why they call you informer?
Because I can play with all the stations and anything I tell them, that's true.
Coming not serious man. If Common was a serious man, the best decision he ever take in his life, Common will be president, maybe won't die or training die. Nah. Common not serious man.
you're saying that it is not possible at all. If that will ever happen, it will happen in utopia.
No.
And utopia is a world that does not exist.
It cannot happen. No, I don't want to already say never ever. But it is not in our generation.
Not even in the generation and generation and generation to come. It's not possible.
But my man, the man cannot concentrate and contemplate. What can he do? That man cannot produce nothing.
2023 election, there will be a humongous and stupendous dichotomy between the previous election and this impending 2023 election. As a result of the disapacity, economic bantikism, academic muaha, hohum hokum, and jiggery pokery with their malevolent poppycock braggadocio and hocus pocus agenda, which has now metamorphosed and transmogrified the prestigious citizens of this country, political awareness, sensibility, intensibility, and agility. I foresee tranquility, unflappability, imperturbability, and composure in this 2023 election. Is to avert flag baggastation, astonishment, and dumbfounded situation.
Oh, yes.
The
locution, catch what, and buy what, and will not koto in Japan. It's not just a travesty, but an unforgettable shibboleth that comes with this onomatopoeic extrapolation and structural functionality. Come to think of it, why will I koto in Japan? Why? Having listened to the grumpy, peeved, disgruntled, hungry, pusillanimous. Pusillanimous, it stands for cowardice, timidity, and fearfulness.
That is what you get when the hobo pejoratively hobnobs with the hobo bamboozle, razzle-dazzle, razzmatazz politically. He was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a way of saying the president was fantastic. But his political enemies said he was suffering from what I describe as new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Yes, it's a word that is supposed to be called silicosis, meaning a lung disease. But in search for the longest word in the dictionary, they pep it up to become a 45-letter word, which is new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. What an odium! What an ignominious memento! That even at the barbituration of the so much acclimatized, the same subsidy evacuation and barbituration was condemned by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanica, boisterous, energetic, and a routine, but today for political somnambulism and malocclusion, reticent, taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming, meaning he has kowtowed in their poll.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.
One, two, three, loving you. 6, 17, 7, I want you back. 1, 2, 3,
I love you.
6,
I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillows. Soon, awake, the morning sun rises, but I'm alone. Hurts my soul.
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, 17, 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3,
I love you.
4, 5, 6,
I'm missing you.
7, 8, 9, I want you back.
It shows on my face, evidence is right here. My smile has been erased. Can't you tell? have no appetite. My food has no taste. I'm a loser.
47 days to go.
Thought you could be replaced. I did.
47 days we've got left to wrap up everything.
And how great we used to.
47 days the candidates got to crisscross the electorate.
And I firmly believe
47 days remaining to deliver the message.
to reality.
47 days to be convinced that they will be elected on October 10th.
I love you.
So we put all the issues together. We just polls, the bits and pieces, and throw it on your lap that you make the decision because you are citizen of this country.
You.
Thank you so very kindly that you joined us for the show Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 24th day of August, holiday in Liberia.
Long time no see. Without your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. It's too hard to bear.
Oh, yes, you've got to endure the pain. Life isn't on a silver platter. Nothing about life is on a silver platter. You feel pain, you feel the hurt, you get frustrated, you get let down, you got hope, a lot more. All of those are in the mixture of life. Thank you again that you joined us for the show Bits and Pieces. We take the bits, the pieces, we put together, we juxtapose or analyze them and chunk it to you, and you decide. That is the essence. So wherever you are falling out from, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Daniel Kuhlman, thank you so much. You have started following from the first day, and every one of you, thank you so much. Can appreciate you guys more. 47 days we've got. So, as it is the custom of the show, before we start to put the bits and pieces into a whole, let's talk about how we ought to conduct ourselves. As always, with these 47 days we've got to go, we want to keep the campaign as peaceful. And very many of you, if not all, are treading that path, and we want to say thank you. Most of the political parties, the candidates, the partisans or loyalists or fanatics, whichever way they are called, you are following. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. But we have to keep it this way. Engage in no violent conduct. Be as saver, as intellectual, as democratic you are. Resist temptation by disengaging, by running away. Candidates, you got the honors, you got the responsibility to speak to your people, to talk to your people from within out. A violent free campaign is a plus for everybody. That's the first win. That is the first ballot. A violent free campaign. Campaign is all about selling your idea. It is all about selling your product. Your product is your idea. Your idea is your vision. It's your revelation. It is your unveiling. It is your proposal. What you got to sell to the people whom you want to get their approval. That what a manifesto, a a platform is. So you want to sell it to the people in a unique, serene environment. You don't want to sell your platform in a confused environment. When there's confusion, violence, misunderstanding, chaos, nobody going to turn to you. In fact, the environment wouldn't be conducive for you to sell. So you would take back the products. If the ladies the boys, the men, the girls, the women took their products to the market, and then there is a confusion. What do you see? They're going back home with with the products, and they're telling people along the way that there's confusion over there. We can't go there. We don't want to put our market down or our products, and then they are destroyed. It is the same way that if you create an uneasy environment, the people not going to gather to listen to you. The people can only gather to listen when their security is sure. And who got the first responsibility? It is not the government. Many will push it to the government. The government covers everybody by the laws. The first security comes from the candidate. The candidate has that first responsibility. That responsibility lies with the candidate to make sure that his partisans are secure by creating a conducive environment, by speaking to his people or to her people, by telling them how they need to go out in a strategic way to set the stage in a way that there will be no infiltration, that they will not give into temptation, and that the people were gathered to listen to him or her. When you can do that, you'll see that you will win votes. Nobody wants to sit in a violent atmosphere or a atmosphere of confusion to listen. It is not conducive. How will you listen? So nobody wants to listen to you, Madam Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy. So you want to talk to your people. You want to give them every reason why you are the good person, the good candidate to be voted for. And then all of us who are stakeholders, every one of us everywhere, behind the microphone and the market table, everywhere, we urge ourselves, and every day we talk about it. Because you know why? Everybody, when the campaign is violent free, and then we go to October 10th, everybody won the first ballot. Everybody. Everybody. The first ballot that campaign, that the first ballot there, you have to win the people's conscience onto you. And you don't do it when the atmosphere is not conducive. They will not listen to you. They will not even turn out. That is the first ballot. You want to win the first ballot. You want to win the first ballot. Mr. Candidate, Madam Kennedy, Mr. Political parties, whatever. You want to win the first ballot claim. Winning that first ballot is how you conduct yourself, your party, your how you coordinate your supporters in these election periods. When you can conduct your campaign free of violence, when you can guide against related electoral misconduct, when you can keep your campaign clean, when you can speak to your people and they stay clear of anything violent, you have won the first ballot. And that will take you into the second round. And that second round, guess what? All your people going with you. And then how you conducted your campaign, you're going to get people from the other side coming. When I say other side, I mean the neutral, the neutralist. There are people in every election since God created the war. They sit on the fence, they're not fully involved. You will not hear them talking about political party or independent candidate. You will not hear them, you will not see them meddling into anything. But they have a say. They have their say. When the time comes based on what they see of how independent candidates, how institutional candidates, how political parties, loyalists conduct themselves during the campaign, they will decide that I can give my vote to this person. So in campaign, you watch out for those people too. You have to be very mindful. They're sitting on the fence, they're standing on the sidewalk, they're watching. So let us keep the atmosphere as peaceful, as clean as we did 2020 senatorial election. Let us give the international community another reason to believe that our democracy has grown to a considerable level. Even though the people always saying fledgling democracy, that means it's still fragile and it's getting better by the day. But I think we have our democracy is considerable in terms of the various tenets we are upholding, we are pursuing. We did it years back. We stay doing it. We will continue to do it. That the international community will look and say, yes, Liberia's democracy is strong. Our democracy is not graded on how a person shouts that he is a candidate, she is a candidate, or how we got democracy. There are tenets to look at. There are certain things to look at. And all of these things are playing in our elections, our campaign right now. So we want to tell the world that we did it before, we can still do it, and we are doing it now. So let's keep it that way. The first talking point we've got today is Flag Day. Today is Flag Day. It's national holiday. It became a holiday by legislative proclamation. And the ceremony took place took place in Morovia. And the government will continue the path of promoting young people who got the zest for their country, who are pursuing whatever the field and how they can serve as an example, a role model to the ones coming after them. So the government chose Wento, a Liberian youth. He resides in the United States, where he is pursuing higher education in public health at the University of Oxford, Pembroke College, and Blavinik School of Government. Wentos. He delivered an insightful address today, and I think he was the typical character. Unlike you would think that the president, the vice president, the speaker, the pro tem, and other VIPs or dignitaries. Why did I say he was the typical? Because he went in a different style. He went in a completely different style. Usually, when people going to do a public address in the presence of high profile people or dignitaries, they will try to be as relaxed, as diplomatic, as following the protocols, and just deliver the address and move. Because they want to guide against any error so that they wouldn't be criticized after. But he didn't go that way. He was relaxed, and he just spoke to the audience like they were sitting in a room like this and lecturing. He would talk about a number of things, even though some of those things were said, but he rephrased some of those things. He would talk about unity, he would talk about peaceful election, he would talk about security. He talked for pretty close to 30 minutes, not a long time. And then at the close of it, nobody expected that. He took everybody by surprise. He took them into a drill that everyone should stand. And then they did the first rehearsal and the second rehearsal, and then the first rehearsal, the dress rehearsal, and then the perfection. That's why I said that he was the typical. You know why? He's been discussed all over the trend. So if you follow how people would do public address or how people did public address in Liberia, they just go and straight, just a stingray. But no, he did it in a lecture form, like he's facilitating a workshop, and it should be participatory. That's the style he talked today, and that was very unique. That's what creativity is. So when he closed his speech and tried to move from behind the pulpit and tell the people what, everybody looking, yeah, they're thinking what he's about to do, because the person would just deliver the address. How they usually in the address, our right to prove. Yeah, they just say that line here, God bless Liberia. Bang. But he left from there and said, oh, let's do this. What he was sending across, that until we can develop and live a bond of national unity, every other thing we're doing will just be an illusion. Yes, Wento, with what he had to deliver today.
To ensure a peaceful and transparent election that will hold this fundamental value. The unity of Liberia should be cherished and celebrated during this election. It is crucial to transcend partisan interests and prioritize the collective well-being of our nation, honoring the legacy of this peace that I just mentioned. The common goal and shared future of Liberia is important more than any other aspect of our political ambition. Hence, I'm extremely confident and inspired that President George Manneh Weah, our stakeholders and the Liberian people are capable of ensuring that we conduct a peaceful electoral process void of conflict and any other situation that will divide us. Cognizant of this peaceful and transparent electoral process, the diversity in thought and expression should be protected and encouraged. We should serve as a bedrock of vibrant democracy. All candidates must have equal access to platforms for public debates. All candidates must have an enabling environment to present their vision. And we must be able to create a respectful electoral process that is constructive. And we should devote hate speeches. And we should also be united to ensure that we don't return back to our conflict. Excellency, the cost of our conflict in Africa since 2000 have been estimated at nearly 900 billion. And our own civil conflict transcends beyond that. Hence, in this light, we must appreciate the significance of President Weah's leadership in ensuring that our resources are directed to developmental processes and well-being, then ensuring that we squander in endless vicious cycles of conflict. Today, we celebrate 2 decades of peace as a testament to unity and national reconciliation due to a compromising patriotism, nationalism, and unification. I firmly believe that the Farmington Declaration must be utilized and respected. And on this public platform, I again want to charge President George Manneh Weah, Excellency, all of our political parties represented here for different divides, our stakeholders, the international body, to ensure that the agreement we signed at the Farmington Declaration and also consolidating the agreement in Butuo, led by young people in Liberia, should be a critical methodology of change in our electoral process. Today we stand proud celebrating the gains that we have achieved on our unification. And I'm excited to share what unification produced for our country. We witnessed the lowest maternal mortality rate in Liberia. We have witnessed a significant reduction of 44% between 2017 and 2021 by the United Nations. Another milestone in our healthcare is the journey and the establishment of the President Eddie Johnson Center Dialysis Clinic. For the first time ever on our unification, Liberia can now boast of having a kidney clinic that provides fire-brand, modernized projection for healthcare in our country. This is done on a unification. Next, we have increasing level of health that was disrupted during the Ebola outbreak. And those significant help have been produced with infrastructure development in different hospitals. For instance, we have 2 different hospitals that were produced in Magibi. I also want to appreciate the significant contribution of President Weah for the construction of the 14 military hospital and the Emory Hospital, and additional 25 doctors that have been given the opportunity to specialize abroad, allowing us to fill the gap and improve the expertise and capacity of our healthcare workforce and progressive growth. While unification has earned us this progress under President Weah, I believe access to quality healthcare should not be illusory. Post-story healthcare facility. Also, we must now work tirelessly to ensure that these services remain accessible to all Liberians. I also believe that affordability can be achieved through investment in our health budget. And today, I want to openly challenge our legislature to ensure that the next prospect of Liberia should have more than 30% budget allotment into our health sector. Furthermore, affordability can be achieved not just through healthcare, but it can also be achieved through a range of other activities. I believe regulating and fostering collaborative effort between private and public citizens could be extremely helpful to bridge the gap between healthcare access and enhanced affordability. We must aspire to prioritize investment in research institutions and initiatives in Liberia. By doing so, we can promote local innovation and cultivate a robust research culture, empowering our healthcare professionals and ensuring that we have groundbreaking discoveries that will positively impact the lives of Liberian citizens. Hence, while we celebrate this game, I'm confident that we still have miles and ways to create and envision the applicable and affordable and sustainable healthcare system that we all want in Liberia. Hence, I believe we can be able to do this through nationalism, through unity, that envision Liberia beyond all of our political choices and beyond our political differences. I'd like to share a personal story with you. After my graduation from the Caribbean teacher school system, I found myself taking a compulsory 2.5-year gap year because my dad could not afford my entrance fee at the University of Liberia. Additionally, ongoing education will have become unaffordable for me, whether at the state-run or at the private college. Another alarming aspect of our society today is the lack of affordability in access to education. The new global FinTech data reveals that over half, 54% of adults in sub-Saharan Africa are deeply concerned about paying their children's school fee, with 29% citing school fees as the preliminary financial worry that suppresses medical expenses, old age provision, and monthly bills. However, in unification, we celebrate the implementation of a free tuition policy for all government-run colleges and universities in Liberia.
Wento delivering his oration at the celebration to mark this year's Flag Day. And the occasion was colorful. The drill, they took it from the Cinco area all the way to the event, and then the oration, and then the awards. The school that won the drill, the best dress, I think that went to St. Teresa Convent, and then they turned to teachers. There were several awards, pretty close to 7 or 10, yeah, or even more than 10. Best teacher. They got awards, different awards to motivate them, and it is good. And a symbolic catch was also given, a symbolic catch. And according to the education ministry officials, the awards are intended, they initiated it or inserted it in the program so that people or students, teachers, academics, all of those people within the education sector can be motivated to the students to study, to practice whenever there is an event, whatever. And that's good. That's how you do that. Life is all about motivation. Life is all. When you can motivate people, motivation is not necessarily the money that you give, even though it is. It is good. But the words, the little bits and pieces practically that you provide, they encourage the person. You could see joy in those children' faces as they drill. You could see the smile, the the body language. You see how they conducted themselves, and they just put all that they are into everything they needed to have done this morning, and they did it with perfection. They did extremely well. We must congratulate them. They did extremely well, extremely well. So the day passed off peacefully. When I say the day, I mean that event. It passed off peacefully, and most of the parents were excited, very excited, very excited. The orator's mother was there to hear her son deliver the oration at such an historic occasion. You want to make sure, listen, don't take that for granted. Encourage your boy, encourage your girl. Whatever the investment you are making now, don't give up. We know it's hard, things are fluctuating, but just keep that determination on. One day, one day you'll be that proudest mother. One day you'll be that proudest stand up father as you see of other people. You know what makes the mother so excited? That she shares tears of joy when she can sit in the midst of society and the person goes to the podium and starts to introduce her son or daughter based on the significant academic advancement which society incorporated. She's excited, but then the tears not necessarily that it is the full job, but the tears may that I'm reaping the investment, I'm reaping the return on my investment. It brings so much joy. Success isn't on a silver platter. You've got to struggle. To gain education, you've got to struggle. To get an award, you've got to struggle. The struggle comes in many phases, different ways, but determination is what gets you there. Don't give up. Whatever the education you are pursuing, whatever you're doing, it's whether it's education, higher education, high school education, business, whatever, mechanic, carpentry, masonry, whatever you're doing, continue to do it. Martin Luther King said, whatever your hands find to do it to the best of your ability. Whether you win or you fail, be the best of whatever you are. And he didn't stop that. He went further to say, even if you build your house in the wood, the wall will make a beating path through your door. What that means, what he simply meant was, whatever education you gain, be it formal or industrial, whatever education, by your determination, you will reap the investment, you will reap the return on your investment. That society will pursue you. Society will make sure that it get you. Even if you're in Tajikistan or Uzbekistan, or if you are in the wood, metaphorically, if you are in the wood, they will carve that wood to get you out to use your expertise. That's what he meant when he said, even whatever your hand finds to do it to the best of your ability. Even if a man builds his house in the wood, the wall will make a beating path through his door to get him out. So you want to pursue it. Don't put money ahead. Money is by far important. You need money for everything. But when you hear the expression in such a time like ours, and it was the same before our time, it doesn't say that you don't need money. you shouldn't have money. Money isn't good for you. No, it simply means what you want to pursue, it should be the first and foremost priority. And as you pursue it with every curiosity and seriousness and zest, the money, the dollars will start to flow in to serve as a push. So you want to pursue it, whatever you're doing, the money will come. If you're taking pay, don't worry. If you aren't taking pay, don't worry. Whatever the situation, just pursue it. If it is difficult in the class, the professor isn't going to class regularly, it doesn't stop you from going to class. Continue to go to class. Whatever the situation you are going through, just pursue it. And at the close of the day, you will stand and say, yes, I made it. That will be doing it for that. The next talking point we've got is this topical issue. It has become a topical issue now. It has become a topical issue. And it's going to be discussed all over until that bill is passed or it gets legislative bloody notes, buried, or it just get on his bed to sleep. The abortion bill, it's been running for some time now. Some of the legislators will think that amendments need to be made to some of the frameworks or provisions within our law. And so they will argue that they should be inserted in our framework. So they started to discuss the pros and cons legislatively after it was proposed. And then the public will weigh in. It's been running for months. Some people will argue that no, our society isn't open to that. Our society is against abortion. Some people will argue that there's no, it shouldn't be forbidden completely. It should be done on right, that people rights should be respected if they find themselves in certain situation to go with termination or abortion. That's the two sides. So what it is, let's do a little class here. What abortion is. Because people will hear the expression abortion, abortion, and they just go, oh, no, 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 no. We want abortion. Our law ain't call for it. Our society ain't call it. So their understanding of abortion is to cut off, which is true. But they will not try to be philosophical. We have to be philosophical. It's not that you hear something and then you just go with outright rejection. You have to find out, you have to ask yourself a couple of rhetorical questions. It's not just saying because the people say they want to introduce abortion and we want abortion. No, you have to sit down quietly and look at it from different angles. All of us who are Christians, what did James say? James said, be slow to speak, quick to hear. When you are slow to speak and you are quick to hear, that quick to hear is curiosity, that you're figuring out. The legislature or some part of the legislature or a portion of the legislature wants this to be enacted, to be a law in Liberia. Our country has not been open to it since this country was founded. Why the lawmakers or those lawmakers want it now? In fact, what is abortion? Is abortion just a one jacket thing? Do they have different kinds of abortion? Are there conditions for this? Are the legislators or some of those legislators who want it, are they aware of the circumstance or circumstances? Did they do their due diligence before proposing it to their colleagues? So you as a citizen, when you begin to look at it this way in your research room, then you wouldn't just reach the conclusion, no, we want it. No, we want it. We want no abortion. Our country, organs. But abortion going on all over the place. Every day, ask for the percentage of the percentage of abortion. Ask for it. You will get a staggering percentage around the world. And put Liberia percentage into it. All over the girls, the women, they're aborting. They're taking different things. Glass bottle, different liquor, all kinds of things. When you are about to look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of it and some of the signs. Most of you women listening, you know. Some older women allow the girl to go to do abortion. Some men allow it. Some pastors allow it. Some imams allow it. Everybody, some way, somehow. So abortion all over the place. It is not to say no. It is to look at why and how. What are the conditions? Let the legislators put it out and see all of what they'll say in the law. Then you know how to argue. But you can't argue from a face value. You don't win an argument from a face value. You don't persuade or convince anybody from a face value. You have to go to the in total. That means you have to go to the bottom of it. Then you will know how to argue. So abortion is simply a medical procedure to end pregnancy. That's what it is. A medical procedure to end pregnancy. A medical procedure. They didn't say your medical thing, or they didn't say that haphazard thing, that quagmire thing you can be doing. You go, you say, oh, my stomach, I know if you are just feeling sick. But you know that you did something, you're pregnant. But because you want to take out the pregnant, you want to say it straight to your friend. So you're just saying it that way. I just feeling sick. I know what happened. My stomach just hurting me. My later, I can just be feeling pain. The morning set to wake up a heart. The heart can start. The lady trying to transmit it to her area doctor, her room doctor, or yard doctor. So she won't come straight to say, I'm pregnant. But she won't take out the pregnancy. She knows that she's pregnant. She wants to take it out. But she's saying it in a way that the friend would suggest an idea. So all over the place, all over doctors, physician assistants, all over different ways, they're terminating. Go to clinics, go to hospitals, go to yard clinic. Everybody terminating. They're aborting. They won't know that it's wrong. Some of the people who are arguing against this proposed bill. Proposed means that what the people think, they put it in writing and then they send it. They're not law. Proposed also means that our suggestion. It's not a law. It's not forced that the people take it and use it. That's why they say proposed bill. If the people say, no, they want it and not necessary for our country, majority of us going against it. And the house that number. So when majority goes against it, that proposal die natural death. So I see no reason why y'all be watching. You're just venting, ranting all over the place. Y'all wait. In the meantime, y'all know. You're not talking about the ones that people doing all over the place. You know the number of girls, women that die because they terminated pregnancy. You know the number of girls that going through terrible situation and that some of them can't give breath anymore until they leave this earth because outwardly they just went and put a number of things in their system because they did not want to bear the pregnancy. And then there is the religious group. I've been following that argument. They are arguing. And let me challenge. I know they will find this one very, very uncomfortable. But please accept it. Because I follow the argument. I follow the argument with most of the religious leaders. All of us are Christians. I am a Christian. I read the Bible. I go to church. In my research room, I concentrate on the Bible. I follow a number of other things theologically. But what the guys are putting out is just from the surface. You have to know at what time, what is conception. You have to know the conception period. It can be argued from a biblical standpoint, and you cannot argue the biblical standpoint without having a legal knowledge. You cannot argue it from a legal standpoint also without having a biblical knowledge, because the two intertwine. So some of the religious people say, no, it's unbiblical. But they're not telling us what is the biblical position on abortion. What does the Bible say, or what the Bible says about abortion? When you say the Bible is unbiblical, then you explain it. Because we use all of those things to convince people. The proposal, that writing. The Bible, that writing is available to us. So the Bible is your source. The Bible is your source. It's your tool. The Bible is your fundamental defense. So if a pastor will say, if an imam will say it's forbidden, according to their law, then you have to convince your hearers or your audience from your book. The pastor say it's unbiblical, the pastor will convince the people from the Bible. It's not just saying because you are a Christian or because you are a Christian pastor and you say it's unbiblical. You have not said anything. I can say it's unbiblical, then I go down and start to explain, give references, say how it is, give the historical layout. Because I want to convince the legislators now who are also Christians. There are more Christian legislators in that house than the other religion. So we want to persuade them so that they can take a majority vote against. They may not know the Bible as you know, because you saying it is unbiblical, you arguing it from a biblical standpoint, 100% true. But you have to convince them now, as they are convincing us, why this bill should be accepted and legislated or enacted. They are convincing us, they provide us document. And then they are defending their document. They're giving different reasons why it should be. So if you argue from a pastoral standpoint or from an Islamic standpoint or a religious standpoint, then you have to come with your book as your defense, because the Bible is our defense. What did Paul say in 1 Peter? He said, sanctify the Lord in your heart and be ready. Be ready to give a reasonable defense of your faith. Be ready. That means be able to explain, to convince your hearers or your audience. If this bill should not be passed as a Christian, then you state your position. But nobody's saying that. The only thing here is wrong, is unbiblical. So you can win a case that way. The people will go ahead and say, oh, but we ain't getting nothing substantive from the public. Let the bill pass. Then when it passes now, then you start screaming all over the place. As much as you can prophesy, the same way you can prophesy, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's the same way you can explain those one or two biblical lines to convince the lawmakers that this is wrong. Christian lawmakers, don't pass this bill. This is what God said. This thing happened in the days of old, the same way or similar as you people are doing it, and this is the action that God took. This is the history. These are the lines. And then the Christian lawmakers hearing that say, oh, We have to be careful. We have to be careful. Then what happened? They're going to start breaking apart. One Christian lawmaker will say, but what are you hearing from those pastors? They are the authority of the word of God. They are the seers. I have to be careful. So I'm withdrawing. Bills can die different ways. That's what they call public pressure. Public pressure means you're providing counterposition. So they start breaking apart and then that bill just died. Let me give you a classic example. Couple of years, Senator Snow, when he was running to become the senator he is now, what did he do? And I consider that bully. He went and deceived the Islamic community with this whole legislation thing that they'll have holiday, and the people gave him their vote. But what happened? The Christian voices, they kept on speaking. They kept on speaking, kept on speaking, kept on speaking, kept on speaking. Senator Snow, when he realized that the public education was strong, the public exposure was strong, what did he do? He came to give a defense. He came to defend it. But then what happened? He met a counter to that. And what happened to that today? What happened to that bill? It died natural death. So you convince people. I'm not against us as Christians who speaking out, but I'm saying be able to give conviction from the Bible. That is exactly what God said. But you can be a pastor. You can be a religious leader. You only say it's unbiblical. I say it because I read a number of scripts on a number of lines on social media. I listened to some people. One of the leaders were on one of the radio stations. They may just saying the Bible forbids that. It's wrong. And we got to understand the scripture. But he wasn't explaining the scripture. And I can understand because the moderator don't know anything about the Bible. Then you're talking about abortion. So he even know one line that speaks to abortion in the Bible. So he's just there. The man just talking. The man could not convince. It doesn't work that way. So, is it. There are different kinds of abortion. And abortion takes place based on the circumstance or the condition. There are different kinds of abortion. Abortion is not one, and you're just wrong. Abortion. So there are different kinds of abortion. Different way. You have induced abortion. Don't worry, tomorrow I bring in the list. I bring in the list of all of them, pretty close to, I think, about 15 or 16 or 17. And you will see all the conditions. There are some based on the circumstance. It has to be. If the woman's life is threatened and the condition calls for that, what do you do? If at what time, or what period it is you transition from a sperm to a human form. So it's not just saying, you see, there are too many things involved. The biblical people will argue that once it is a sperm, it's conception. Therefore, it cannot be aborted. The legal people will argue that once it hasn't taken on a human form, it is not a human. You'll see the argument tomorrow, classic argument, and continue to argue this. At least it will expose people into a number of things. So when you go down to do that, I come in to open the line, don't worry. That's the issue we got for the day. Let's look at some of the things about it. When a person can have abortion, when a woman can have an abortion. So my little Bitz and Pieces will tell me that the first trimester lasts from conception to week 12 of pregnancy. The second trimester is from week 13 to week 28. All of these. In the first trimester, according to my Bitz and Pieces, options for abortion commonly will include medical abortion or vacuum aspiration. A person can only access medical abortion until about 7 to 9 weeks after the last period. After the last period. My little Bits and Pieces goes, this involves taking 2 types of medication. 2 types of medication. And then they said surgical options such as vacuum aspiration and dilation and evacuation that they call DNC. 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 You hear the women then talking, oh, DNC. You did DNC. DNC. And when you ask them exactly what DNC is, or they know that DNC, you have to know the initial. DNC is simply dilatation and curettage. Dilatation and curettage. Yeah. I don't go to medical school, but I'm very curious to be in gatherings. I learned this from a pastor before the medical people will explain it. A pastor, a Catholic priest. That's why most of you who are in the pastorate, don't just be concerned with screaming and shouting and yelling and prophesying. The Bible is inclusive of all discipline. The Bible has all discipline. All of the disciplines evolve from the Bible. If you can know those, guess what? You will just be screaming. You will just think that the Bible is spiritual. That's how most people see the Bible as spiritual, spiritual. But the Bible has all of the disciplines: law, agriculture, anthropology, carpentry, masonry, medical, all the discipline, all of the disciplines that we have today evolved from the Bible. All of them came from God. The Bible is not exclusively spiritual. No. So if you don't know all of these, you'll just be prophesying whole day, every day. So when the main issue come now, like this abortion issue, you don't know how to give a position. You don't know how to address it. Dilatation and curettage. Dilatation is just like you say hall and cut. Dilatation and curettage. Hall and cut. When the lady goes to the place to do abortion and then everything goes through in terms of the arrangement, and then she plays on the medical table, or if that woman's life is threatened and they have to do it, pam. So yeah, how it is done. Some of the medical people listening, they know. I may not be as expert at it, but I have a little idea, and this is it. Have you seen a Ghanaian woman frying a collar? Have you seen a Ghanaian woman? The Ghanaian woman uses 2 things to get the collar off. There's the thinner with the dots or small holes, and then the hooker that she puts in the hot oil to take off the bubbles. That should give you a picture of what dilatation and curettage age is. So they go there, they insert that to get the head off. The head off when it is transitioned from sperm to her skin. So it is hooked, properly hooked. If it is not properly hooked and that is done, that's when you will hear some women or you will hear a lady when they come home, they feeling pain. And then you hear some women and say, those who know, but they say, oh, she take her belly off, but they ain't do it good. They ain't clean in her good. Then there's the next element, just like plier. So that hooker, something like like how they call the thing they can use? The big stuff that they can use to take the color from the place. Or a Coke spoon. The medical person, that's the dilatation and curettage I explaining. The medical person will have to be very careful. You have to get it properly positioned so that it is drawn out. When it reaches certain meter, then they take the plier and then smash. After that, then they pull out the elements. Within there, if it is not properly done, if they are not, they don't make sure that every area of the lady is touched and is just rushed out, as far as they're concerned, dilatation and curettage has taken place. Some of the elements remain in the lady. They do the closing, everything. When she gets home after 1-2 days, she starts feeling pain inside. Meaning something went somewhere that it should not have gone. So that's what they call D and C. When you're saying D and C, you're saying dilatation and curettage. Know that today. That's what it means. Dilatation. Every time you hear, oh, DNC, she did DNC. It's another, it's abortion. But that abortion there, you go, the chakla, everything, the boss. Even if it turned to a full human and you're saying the small hair, you can smash the hair with that plier, they bust it. That's what they call dilatation and curettage. Now, in the second trimester, a pregnant woman may undergo dilatation and evacuation depending on the circumstance. The doctors will typically perform this between weeks 12 and 14, and on and on and on. So let's look at some of the signs and then we'll open the line. The advantages. Some advantages of medical abortion. Medical abortion is where you're in the hospital, seasoned, refined, well-learned, medically inclined doctors are there to do that based on the circumstance. It's not where you just walk in hospital and say, I want to do abortion, then they put no. When I say medical abortion, it means the circumstance or the need calls for that. There is a risk there, and they have to look at where the burden of risk or less risk is. Then they will determine medically whether they should move to do an abortion, whatever this. So the only thing what you can do to the whole, you go, you sit down, you put glass bottle in you, then you say that medical Sunday. No, they're not medical Sunday there. That demonic, that devil thing there. You tell the devil to help kill you. Medical. Some of the advantages. It does not involve surgery. It does not involve surgery, depending on the situation. It is available in the first trimester. No further treatments will be necessary. Some disadvantages, just few. Then tomorrow we'll go in detail. Some disadvantages of medical abortion. 1, it is available in the second trimester. 2, only part of the treatment takes place in a clinic. 3, it may cause painful cramping. 4, it is not effective. And then the risk. According to my Bitz and Pieces, some people experience side effects of the medication. Some people experience side effects. The same thing I tell you, side effect, like Oh, you're feeling that way. Oh, all kind of stuff. 1, nausea. 2, heavy vaginal bleeding. 3, dizziness. 4, fatigue. 5, diarrhea. 6, mild fever. These are some. So you have to take time and look at it. Let us not rush with this whole thing. The bill hasn't been passed, and it will not be passed in a twinkling of an eye. When you say bill, you're saying debate. They'll have to debate it. The people who wrote that proposal, they will have to convince their colleagues. They'll have to explain in detail. They have to give their colleagues every reason to believe that it is necessary. Their colleagues will ask them questions, difficult questions, real questions, because they know that it hasn't been introduced in Liberia. So introducing such now, they have to be very, very careful so that it doesn't cause. There are too many things. You look at the security part, you look at the legal part, apart from the medical. There are different areas of that whole bill. But we can understand everybody just running because majority of the people are Christians. So it's saying unbiblical, it's unbiblical, it's unbiblical, it's unbiblical. It's not right. All right. That will be doing it for that. So the various districts are very active. All of the districts, Unity Party have started crisscrossing. District 11 is going to be heavily contested. District 13 will be heavily contested, but not very. Not very. District 17, District 18, District 14, Vamuya Konen. If Vamuya Konen tries, he will win. But as it stands, I think it's going to be a battle over there. It's very likely that he will win, and it's also very likely that he will lose, depending on how he plays his cards with the other contestants. Masa Dopo, Representative Francis Dopo's sister, wants to become the next representatives. There are other guys in there that who think they can oust or they can remove Abraham Vamuya Konen. There are others who see Abraham Vamuya Konen as the landlord for District 14. District 13, I think, is not going to be a hard-fought battle. No, I'm just giving you a preview of what is coming up on tomorrow. It's not going to be a hard-fought battle because the people that are there, they're just there. They're not doing anything significant. They haven't done. So it's very likely that the current representative will remain current. And it's also very likely that he might cease being current with a defeat. Edward Papi Flomo is very likely. Election can go anyway. But Cornelia Crow, who is from Unity Party, I think the battle is going to be between candidate Cornelia Crow of Unity Party and the current representative candidate Edward Papi Flomo of the Coalition for Democratic Change. The battle is going to be fought between those two people. Cornelia Crow came close 2017, and I think she maintains her percentage or her numbers. So it's going to be between there. Dixon Sibo, I see Dixon Sibo being re-elected. Representative Hazen Kazulu, he has given up District 17. He's running to be senator in Grand Cape Mount County. Richard Kuhn, Representative Kuhn, it's going to be a tight battle over there too, but I see him being re-elected. Unity Party, he's a strong voice in Unity Party. He's been with Unity Party for some time now, and he's one of the brains, even though he had some faults according to the people there. But I think he's going to win. Don't take what I'm saying as absolute. I'm not the single voter. No, I'm just giving my own understanding of what I've learned of some of those districts. He might likely win. He might likely not win. And the other districts. And then to close up, President Weah had been crisscrossing. He's talking to the people that they should vote his representatives. He's putting up their hands. But that is not a guarantee. The president is playing his part. He will continue to do that until the campaign comes to an end. But it is not a foregone conclusion. It's not a foregone conclusion. The conviction for being re-elected, despite the president putting up a hand, is what the person has done in his or her district. President, we can put your hand up, and if you did nothing, and the people tire of you, they can vote you out. It is not new in this country. We have seen it over and over. The 2020 senatorial election, special election, the people named the representatives the senators that were not going back, those legislators that were not going back. We thought that the people were joking. We took them for a joke. I must say, we sat on the radio, we criticized them. But guess what? They lived up to the word, and majority of those did not go back. Majority of them did not go back, only few. And they brought in few, or if not many. They brought in Dixon Sibo, Hazen Kazulu, Francis Dopo, Rostalin Dennis. They brought in new people. That is why in this election, this campaign, you got to be very careful. The president can raise your hand. Even Jesus Christ can put your hand up. When the people say no, that no. But when you do something in your district, when you have done significant development, the president ain't got to put your hand up. The president just got to go there and say, this is our candidate. This is our party's representative. Even before the president can finish saying that, the people say, Mr. President, just leave it at that man going by. Because we know what that man have done and what he doing here. So the president can put your hand up and you do nothing there. You will not go back. So all of the parties from CDC downward, all of the parties that are contesting, you have to be very careful. If you haven't done anything, if you do it less, then try to do it now in the campaign period as quickly as you can. Perform some kind of miracle. And as you perform that miracle, ask God to come along to help you. This is Bitz and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 with me, Sam Andrews, on this national holiday, August 24th. Let's turn to you now. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Have your say. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your line, change your location, sir. I beg you. Change your location. Your line is cracking.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
It's been a long period of time. Uncle Sam Andrew.
You want to change your location? You're cracking.
Okay, are you getting me clear?
Yeah. No, it's still the same, sir. It's still the same. Let's try and change your location. You got the right to call back. No, cut off your radio. Cut off your radio. You don't have to listen to yourself on your radio. Eugene Jobo, please call me on the station line. I can take people on my personal line. Call me on the station line. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, Chief, it's still happening. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, you are on the air.
Hello?
You are on the air. Speak.
Yes.
You are on the air. You're not understanding. Okay. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm calling from District 16.
District 16. Let us hear you.
16. Yes, so I don't really know where you got a statistic from that different people is going back. No,
did I quote number? Did I quote that quoted from statistics?
Yeah, so this is it's a complete figure.
No answer. No, hey, Chief, don't beg the question. You say I don't know where I got my statistics from.
Yeah,
did I quote statistics?
For different people, you will go back. Yes, it is re-elected. That's what you said. So I was asking you, what made you think that these people were going back when the people were District 16 are resolved that these people were superior to the district? You tell that District 16 may be re-elected.
But there are two different things you're saying, my Chief. You say I say he will go back, then you say you come and say I said he may. That's what I said. I said he might likely go back if he might likely lose. I said that expression for all of the candidates, Chief. When you're listening to radio, listen to how the person is using the language. You don't just listen because you want to listen, Chief. How can I say that when I'm not the one who determines it? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me say thanks to you, Uncle Sam Andrew. We've been a very long period of time.
Yeah, let's hear you.
You're speaking with Kane.
Kane what? Kane what?
Mohammed Kane.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mohammed Kane.
Let me say to you on the platform. And I'll speak to you from 16. You know, after you're making the reference, you said from the 16 people, the elected.
You off?
Hello?
Yeah. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
In the elected, but you know, the chances for me, the accident in the district, because
Chief, your line is bad. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you for your analysis. I'm Emmanuel Pote. I'm speaking to you from Cruiserville, District Number 1, Mosorado County.
Let's hear you from Cruiserville.
Yeah, gone are the days of us electing people on party sentiment. So it means President Weah himself has to fight his own battle. So everybody needs to fight their own battle. When you dare, you know, work for the 6 years, as you rightly said, we are the electorate. Those guys are misquoting you. You say if the people don't work, you name people that were voted out and others that were voted in. And then you name the only thing you forgot about Josephine George Francis, who were voted out and she was replaced by Lawrence Morris, that also will be voting him out because he did not perform well. You see? So thank you. Then whenever the people can fail to realize that we are their employers and they are your employees. And when we give you the 6-year mandate, you go, you sit down, you enjoy, you forget about us, like the way Lawrence forgot about us. You forgot about himself, he forgot about himself, he forgot about us. Now he wants to work in the district. I mean, that's what you say, you can't work. Somebody work somebody work now, from now to election day. Anything you're doing, I will take it to be a tick.
All right, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sam.
Yes.
This is William Harris.
Let's hear you, Mr. Harris.
Sam, thank you. God will bless you, Sam. That's how he through us, Sam. God will bless you. Say, you know the power of your country here? Political terrorists, I want to lag off. We lag off political terrorists. We always attack people on the field. People say something, you analyze it for yourself, you say your own and you go. For everything you say on the video here, for me, I've been listening from the beginning of the show, what you say here. The way you analyze it. It will happen. It may not happen. But I heard it, and I will be. They want to thank you, keep your courage. Do not be discouraged by same by people. Today, if you see the other people inside, I will look in there. If you see outside, it speak for us today. It see through and talking, we'll say, yeah. If you speak on the other side, we'll say, no, saying buyer, better driven. All of in the same, God will bless you. Keep on your job. God will bless you and your family. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. This is Bitz And Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 24th day of August 2023. Election year in Liberia, 47 days to October 10th. Good afternoon.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's hear you.
My line is very clear now. I'm saying this is Mohammed Kane from Jesus 16. Let me employ you for the platform. You know, Jesus 16, Nana, the district is very, very much tough. Yes. You know, your analysis you give, I employ you for it. Okay? Because even my brother that come from the district here, I think he was not listening to you clear. But I follow
When
you
you
when you're making
say,
honest.
what do you mean when you say the district is tough?
That means if I say the district is very tough on in Agusin, on the Bosibo Nana, in Hasu Nana. Yes.
Yeah, because you got several persons contesting. So it's not going to be on a silver platter, but the decision is going to be made on work. If Dixon Sibo did extremely well, fine, he will be reelected. If the people won, if he didn't, no.
Oh, yeah, but that's why because for now the district where on the Bosibo phone you say Nana in the district now.
So he hasn't done anything.
You know, you have the chance Nana to be reelected. Thank you.
It's what you observe. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate your analysis. Actually, for this 14, we got to pray that Abraham Fanon will be reelected.
He's your candidate, isn't he?
Hello?
I said Abraham Vamuyankone is your candidate.
Surely you'll be reelected.
And you got several persons going against him.
Yeah, we got Muka and Noron.
So how do you see those people? How do you see the other candidates that want to take him from there?
President, I have a different 14. Muka is not the case of this 14.
But you got this, you got candidate Masa Dopo.
Yeah, Moko do not subscribe to Muka. What the president of the district now is
No, I said Masa Dopo. She a lady who is contesting. She seems to be a force to reckon with.
Okay, and we'll get to the Parapa, we'll tell. We'll see what to do. For now, I believe that if I'm going to we must be 2023.
All
That's my
right.
opinion.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice Thursday. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. And your voice or your view will be heard. Have your say. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah, you are on the air.
Yeah. My name is Samson S. Newman Siam. I'm calling from two committee to be Bishop TC 106 Social and Political Organization headquarters.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear you.
Yeah, for this District 14 will be very tough for him because now we have his major rival from 2017 up now, which is Muka Kekula Kamara.
And he's the person you're carrying.
Hello?
He is the person you're carrying. You are carrying Mr. Kamara.
Yeah, Muka Kekula Kamara, I think the billionaire to not make up. But I want for Muka to do something that will make him to win the equipment, which is to work along with the Zunos structures that in District 14 is from the CDC.
All right. Yeah, you can tell him when he reaches your people. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Prince Doe calling from Dogombe, District 14.
Let's hear you, Mr. Doe.
Yeah, the best president for District 14 is Madam Pauline Wiya for Lady Obama.
So you got two ladies contesting District 14? There is this lady too, Masa Dopo.
Yeah, but with the exception of these people, but I'm talking about what the woman been doing within the district. She has been doing a lot. although she don't have the money, but she been lobby, she been using her lobbying power.
Moment, you say the woman she doesn't have money. Then how is she carrying out her campaign if she doesn't have money? Because campaign is money.
I told you that, but one of the policies that they're using because it's saying that saying that in our district that we don't have money, so we cannot win the district. But it's all not all about money, but what you can bring.
So what are you people? What are you people telling the electorate?
I'm not getting clear.
What are you people? What are you people telling the electorate about your candidate?
Yeah, we are telling the voters about. We are telling them how they should vote our candidate because she's the best person. She got in there. She's one of the flexible person within the district. She's one of the person that down to earth. That even when she win tomorrow.
What has she done? What has she done that you can point to?
Yeah, you see the Joe Community Road, the road that we're discussing about where people can be called in Muga Road. She was the first person. She was the first person to put dead on that road. You understand? She was the first person to put dead on that road. The DC, let's say the guy, the DCR, before we used to call it 12 room. She wanted the person that
putting that on the road, is it the same as giving it a paved path?
And she was one of the person that people during the war, she was sharing food. She was sharing to other people. She went to the American embassy and all. She went to the American embassy. She threw her lobbying power and asked for food and other materials to give it to the people during this war. So the thing is glaring that
are those things convincing enough to give her an election on October 10th? He's off. Let's see a couple of comments in. Couple of comments in. Okay. Masale S. Ibrahim saying he's following from the headquarters of the Veteran Bureau, Bekube Avenue. And okay, thank you so much, Mohammed Sharif, that he's following from South Africa. 0770 907 907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770 907 907. This is Bitz and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 within St. Andrews. Today is Thursday, holiday, Liberia, August 24th, Flag Day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Ilagayesh Bundoak, calling you from Lofa County.
Yeah, speak loud. I know you're calling from all the way Lofa County, but just increase your voice a little. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. It seems that I'm experiencing some problem with the line, or should be from the callers themselves. Hello? Okay, that will be doing it. Thank you ever so much for spicing up the show. The first guy, probably you didn't understand. I didn't say none of these guys are going to win. I said they might likely win, depending on what they've done. And moreover, those who I started with the ruling establishment that if President Weah put your hand up, it doesn't give you a full guarantee that you're going to win. If Joe Braga put your hand up, it doesn't say that you're going to stay on as Unity Party representative. No, everything boils down to what you have done, how significant it is, the magnitude of your development, how you operated in the legislature, and the impact you made on your party, on the government, developmentally, going to get you back. In the absence of that, if you just put day on roll, like the other man said, and one put day on roll, it's not going to take you back, or it's not going to give you any election. Good afternoon. Most of you people will wait until the dying minute before you think that you should do what you want to do. In election, it's bad that way. It is very, very bad that way. We have to change the style of campaigning in this country. You got political ambition, you start to do it ahead of time. You start your preparation 3, 4, 5, or 2 years, 3 years ahead. Don't wait election year before you start to do. People doing different things. That now they're giving people scholarship. Now they say they're giving people water. They're giving loan. They're doing all of those things. Sorry, I'm not criticizing you people, but those things there, you should have done it long time. You have done it long time. That's why, you know why? Edwin Snow, let me tell you, Senator Edwin Snow in this country, he don't really campaign. You know why? Because Senator Snow can do his work before campaign, before he declare his intention. Look at all the elections that Senator Snow won. He did less talking because he had already did it 1-2 years ahead. So the people say, but no need. We carrying a man. The man already done it. We've seen it. That's how you do when you have political ambition. Start preparing ahead of time. But don't wait. You will wait until election year, then you start hustling here and there. The whole thing about public office is not opportunity. You can be that opportunistic that, yeah, let me hustle for small money. Let me try. Because most of you in a race that you're trying your own. It's not a joke thing. That's a serious thing. You want to go to the legislature. And then you have done nothing. You register, NEC gave you all of your papers. Then you start running around. Women, oh, women. You know, women of the country have been marginalized for years. It's time for women to rise up. That election thing there, you think the people are going to take you serious? Why didn't you talk about it? There were too many things that women were undergoing in this country. Too many times they were stabbed in the back. Too many times they struggled. Some of you women who are running today, you refuse to identify with them. You feel that you said that were, oh, I win, let them go. They know what they're doing it for. They get their husband in government. You refuse to identify with them. But now you saying women, all women. When you knew that they were important, when you knew that they were all they now women of substance because you want their vote. That's why most of the women they are not elected. Then they can say, oh, the men are marginalizing them because the very women too. They're not supportive of each other in any struggle. There is division amongst them. So when one person will run out, that time they're using the gender thing, gender sensitive thing, as if it is a campaign plus or a campaign capital. You don't wait until last minute or time. It will not work for you. You have changed the style of political ambition in this country. Some of you know that you will not win. So you know what you do? You start using this time now to prepare for 2029. 6 years, it looks long, but it's short. Just yesterday, we witnessed President Weah inauguration. Today, we're talking about 6 years finishing. Why you here? Just yesterday, we were celebrating. Happy New Year, Manaba. Oh, happy. Why you hear majority of the people saying, oh, it's about a year gone. Oh. Yeah, the year gone. We in August. Oh, yeah, the year is running. So in no time, 6 years will be finished. So start preparing for 2029. It's obvious. Let's be very blunt. Some of you will not win. Some of you don't have the capacity. Some of you even get a better convincing blueprint. Some of you have not even been around. Some of you just think that because the legislature, that money, every day the people talking about money, they're mentioning astronomical figure. So you are tempted, you are provoked. So you want to go there. Because some of the lawmakers that are there, if not all, they said the same thing they were going to change. The narratives there at the legislature. But as soon as they got there, what happened? They start walloping. They start soaking themselves. in the few cash that are there. Vice President Joe Howard tell him the money bene. People want to go to the legislature because they want the money, and that's true. You hear the fine promises. They will deliver grandeur speech or speeches. But when they get there, it finish. You don't wait until election year before. So you start organizing football game and say Sam Andrews tournament in honor of Sam Andrews. Why Sam Andrews did not organize tournament 3, 4, 5 years past? Or that in election year, Sam Andrews can have political ambition. So when the people reject you now, then you say the people ain't like you. The boy ain't like you. The boy ain't want you. No. Majority of these guys that you see today seeking re-election, they did well as per the observation of their districts or the people in their districts or their constituents, and so they elected them. Now they are building on, they are using as justification why they should go back based on what they have done for their people. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm listening to you, sir. I'm listening to you. You are on the air. They are convinced of what they have done. Some of the guys started planning long since. Long since. I know few. I may not know many, but I think I know few who did extremely well. And that's why I use Senator Snow. We follow Snow trend. Senator Snow don't campaign. Don't see Senator Snow during election time. He just move one into a few areas. Yeah, just so the people will know. But Snow does his work ahead of time. Tell me, since Snow started, which district or what position that you hear that Senator Snow say he's contesting and he lost it? That the people say, oh, they may do nothing. Tell me. Nobody has that record in this country. The record that is available for Senator Snow is he does his work ahead of time, so the people will openly say the mayor did it for us. So we carry him. And his margin is always wide. Listen to Snow's percentage from neck when it's reading.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was the first call that called with that issue of the CCO, and then I just.
My man, we've been through with that Disney Sibo team.
Yeah.
Say another thing.
That's the same thing that I was trying to say that you generate yesterday. I think the same thing. Someone one of the journalists was speaking yesterday that there are only two political parties that were looking at an entire election, which is United Party and CDC, which of course there are a lot of Liberians sitting down and watching the power regime of the United Party with the present regime of George Weah, and they are condemning that in 18 years we are not getting nothing that will put a country on path. And yet they will still do that among the new candidates, a lot of Liberians are saying how to make that decision. And then come to see that when the two political parties are who cannot register the campaigning, they put in our resources, then generation air and tell people to look as far as concerning the election, two political parties, this one will go for first round, this one will go for second round, this and that. And secondly, I kept hearing talking about what have you done. So what have you done is this for those that have been elected or that accept the position as incumbent or those that are coming on board. After what we should be where have been a trial record?
All right.
Because what have you done? It can lead people sometimes to select the wrong choice.
Okay.
The person that can come with impression and fool the people.
That is also true. I agree with you. Yeah. No one knows the human mind. That's true. Okay. Thank you so much. When you hear the expression two parties, this is not to negate the fact that you don't have other parties. No. You're trying to understand political jargon. Every situation, every event, every place, every institution has jargons. You have to understand that the jargon. When they say two parties, It is not to say there are only two parties existing in Liberia or the other parties are insignificant. They aren't. But these are historically the two parties that have built their brand over the years, and the entire country have known them for that. They are the ones that are ahead of the other political parties. Can you compare MPC with CDC? Can you compare LFP with Unity Party? No, Chief. That one I'm bragging. Everybody not equal. No, I'm not taking calls again. I'm about to go to my grandmother. So when you're calling, it's for nothing. I'm not taking calls. Don't bother. No, it's not equal. The people are not equal. Chief, the people are not equal. You can't compare National Democratic Party with CDC. Can you? Can you? So when you hear two political parties, it simply means by their historical brand, one, by the accumulation of numbers. That means they can get the number that they want. Watch the two of them. CDC outside, what do you see? You see avalanche of supporters. Yeah, you see everywhere the place is packed. Their rally is jam-packed. Unity Party is out. You see their rally jam-packed. Look at the other people when they are having their rally. What do you see? You can check the people. You can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So don't get yourself confused that, oh, when we say CDC Unity Party, no. There are other parties, 20 negative or 20 parties. But everybody not equal in life. I was sitting here. There are people who far advanced than me. There are people who I have little advantage over. I can compare myself with the other people. It's obvious. You got to know your status. It doesn't say that you have lost or you have diminished your substance as a human. No, not at all. So when you hear those two parties, it simply means that historically they built their brand over the years. They've known as the elite parties. They have majority of the stakeholders within their realm. They are the two. When you come to the election, they have the numbers. Nobody going to win on first ballot. Nobody. Don't live with that illusion. What you hear people saying, that political cliche. By our system, nobody can get 50 plus 1. Already, NEC, look at the number that NEC has given us, the number of eligible voters, people who we who went and registered. That us they call eligible voters. Ask NEC for that number. 2, there are several other factors that will come into play. You get 20, all of them sharing the votes here and there. 4, you get a sizable number that will stay away, called voter apathy. That because of whatever the reason, they get discouraged and make a decision. They have interest in voting. Apathy simply means you don't have any interest. No, you just, if you have any interest, you kill that interest, you kill that desire. So that group there. Then you also have the next group called invalid vote. The one they go. Sam Andrews say he's going to vote for Tajikistan. Then he go, instead of taking his own time to look for Tajikistan good, he went across Uzbekistan. So when you go there now, then next say, well, you cross it on the side. They want it to be so. You can cross Tajikistan, then you cross Uzbekistan. So the other 1 year, we're not counting it. All of those things, look at it. Then you think somebody can win first round, but you can win the first ballot. The first ballot takes you into the second ballot. So all that you hear political parties saying that just to encourage their supporters, they say that campaign time now, you got to come up with some campaign cliches to motivate your people, to get them buoyant, to get them motivated. But it doesn't suggest that they are determining the outcome. You and I are the ones who are determining the outcome. The politician can say we're winning first round. Who gave them first round or second round? That you and me. The politician will not go and put his head there. That President Weah will announce himself that he had won first round. Joe Biden will go and announce himself a first round winner. MPC will announce himself a first round winner. Nobody can do it. But you and I, that's why they're coming to us. That's why they're selling their manifesto to us, for us to buy it based on what they have done, what they intend to do, how they have done it, how they will continue to do it if we give them our vote. So when you hear the first round, you can make us scared about here. It should be scared nobody. A second round. And that second round, as it is the tradition in our country, will be between CDC and Unity Party. Don't worry, you will see it. Don't worry, you will see it. The National Elections Commission can announce second round. The political party announce they will win first round. Somebody tell you, say, oh, you think the man will look at himself and tell you that I can win the election? Who you ever see on earth and say, I can't win election, I will not make it? No, you have to be confident. You have to put everything into it. You have to be confident. Peter one day says that he's following from Mama Point Hotel. Thank you ever so much. Hope that you're having a nice day there on your holiday. All right, so none of these parties going to win first round. As a matter of fact, the party with 3 persons, they say in one round. The party with 10 persons, they say in one round. That one round there, they're saying, they're hoping that there'll be second round. All of those parties below Unity Party and CDC, they're hoping for a second round. Because second round, that they're eating time. Second round, that they're eating time. And you know how it's going to be? Let me give you a picture. The second round, CDC, President Weah and his strategic team will sit down and look at how the votes went. They look at the various regions. Okay? They do their mathematics. Joe Biden and his strategic team, his campaign team will sit down. They look at the sheet. They do their mathematics in the various regions. MPC, they look at MPC. Say MPC in the first round got 125 votes. Then they look at FPC or NDPL. Say NDPL got 104 votes. So in second round, MPC got 25 votes. NDPL got 104 votes. Where you think CDC or United Party will go to start talking? They'll go to the men who get 104 votes. Because you know why? When they add that 100 plus or that 1,000, let's take it 1,000, they add that 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 to the number, it will carry the number up. Second round means we're fighting for the number now that will go above my opponent, so I will win. That are 50 plus 1 now, they're fighting for in second round. Who get the highest number? You can get it in first round with all the political parties. No, so you don't be afraid. There's not going to be a first round. There's going to be a second round. But you have the political cliches running all over the place because they have to say that campaign time, huh? They have to say. Okay. Thank you ever so much. So today, holiday. Today is national holiday. So let me turn to my grammarians. These guys. The reason I'm turning to them before we close, listen, life is not difficult. Whatever you want to achieve, once you can devote time to it, it is possible. Life or success only needs devotion. I took up my time listening to these guys. Then I took up my time because some of them will come on the screen. Some of the words will come on the screen. So I took my dictionaries and started to follow them. Every word they use, I will pause that and look for that word. And guess what? I found all of the words. You would think that these guys are lying. So I started to ask myself, how did they do it? And I soon realized that, look, God has given everybody the potential to explore. It only left with us. If we can only devote time, it only requires devotion. These guys, how good they are. So listen to them. This is how we close. This is what we close. These guys are very good, very good. You don't hear them stuttering.
Our leaders have finally transformed this country into what I call ring a ring old roses. Yes, the innovative.
Yeah, ring a ring or roses. So you would think that a song, well, what we can say in Liberia, lose store the may give me up, but that standard English, though, is in the dictionary. That word is in the dictionary. The first time I started listening to these guys, the man used the expression, control in powo. Oh, I said, what kind of word man using here? I thought that, because when they're doing it, a thing, they can just use the word. Only to go see the word in the dictionary. But the fluency of it, how fluid these guys are. That's what I'm talking about. They are very good. And it just gave me an understanding that, look, whatever you want to do, once you devote time, these guys devoted time to learning. They will sit down in a room and memorize all of these words. And they use the words in order. In order. The guys are good.
An attenuating situation. But I pray God will not forsake this country. But until the government propitiates the masses, I will not go to India. I will not go to India.
What an odium. What an ignominious memento. That even at the barbitration of the so much acclimatized, the same subsidy evacuation and barbitration was condemned by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanical, boisterous, energetic, and a routine to thing, but today for political somnambulism and malocclusion, reticent, taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming. Meaning he has foretold
India for
2023 election, there will be a humongous and stupendous dichotomy between the previous election and this impending 2023 election. As a result of the disapacity, economic bantikism, academic muaha, hohum hokum, and jiggery pokery with their malevolent poppycock braggadocio and hocus pocus agenda, which has now metamorphosed and transmogrified the prestigious citizens of this country, political awareness, sensibility, intensibility, and agility. I foresee tranquility, unflappability, imperturbability, and composure in this 2023 election. Is to avert flag baggastation, astonishment, and dumbfound situation, I yuhu and huhu.
Are you? All right, man. Thank you ever so much for joining in the show. Bits and Pieces of Voice of Liberia, 104.1. With me, Sam Andrews. We're transmitting from Capital Bypass, Monrovia. We're back tomorrow for the weekend's edition on the 25th. And let me say congratulations to Ada Zoning. You will be walking out of Stella Marriage on tomorrow, the 25th of August. Congratulations. That's what determination earns you. And now you are in the position to reap the dividend of your investment. Congratulations to you, Adazoni, as you walk out of Stella Marie's on tomorrow. Congratulations. So this is how we go on. Thanks to every one of you who weigh in. Send any of your comments, call. I appreciate it. We do it tomorrow, if God permits. My name is Sam Andrews.
2023 election, there will be a humongous and stupendous dichotomy.
1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night.